Hello.
Hello. Here we are again.
What's new? Wasn't the best start, was it? What's new?
Well, the biggest thing that's new
Hmm.
are these frosted glass
I
jars,
I
mason
see-
jars
I
in front of us.
see over there on the table there are some
They're called mason jars.
dew coated
They are.
mason
They've been in the
jars
fridge for a week.
with how did they get here?
They came via Federal Express.
Federal Express.
Mm. But they're snow globes.
Yes, they're snow globes. If anyone asks, they are Mima's snow globes. Mima. So you're gonna open them.
I'm going to try because they seem quite well sealed. I might have to put the mic down for this.
What? Don't be stupid. Oh wow. Oh,
It's sealed.
it's actually nobody told us about this. What are you gonna do?
Well, I've brought a knife. Oi! There we go. Have a quick sniff there. Oh.
What?
That's the good stuff.
Do you know? I've been quite apprehensive about this.
Yeah, ditto.
On account of the fact that it was illegal,
It's been made illegally
right?
without a distilling license
Shipped over in a FedEx box,
with
passed off as
Snow
Mima's snow
globes,
globes
which
to
would
explain
account
the sloshing.
sloshing sound in the box.
All because
Yeah.
we decided buy us a beer.
And someone
Someone
literally
sent us
did.
a beer.
Um,
It's not a beer; it's a moonshine.
Can you hold my mic again? I'll open yours.
Hmm. I'm going to point out as well that because this is like an American thing, I also got some, jerky for the table.
Jerky. Made in the UK jerky.
Come on, get in
I
there.
don't want to spill it. Oh, there we go.
We have moonshine.
Oh, man, that is...
Who's going first?
Well, I think we go together, no?
So hang on a minute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hybrid Photography Podcast.
With Hybrid Peter.
Hybrid Dave, buy us a beer.
Hashtag.
Hashtag buy us a beer.
Still doesn't work afterwards.
We're not very good at this yet.
It's only the 5th episode.
So I'm Hybrid Dave, and this is Hybrid Peter. Together we are Hybrid Photography.
Wild Stallion. No, that's wrong.
That's something else.
It's too long.
Together we shoot weddings and corporate stuff. And
Separately.
separately I shoot travel, and I write, and I teach, and Pete
Looks after children.
looks after children and shoots architecture and teaches,
Yes.
and looks after children.
My own, I should point out.
Then does a bit of editing, then looks after children. Takes some photos, and then looks after children. Gets round to editing them, looks after some children.
I'm a parent,
Ah,
so that's...
I was making it sound weird.
Yeah.
Um,
So we seem to be
do you know what?
delaying
Screw
the
it.
inevitable.
Screw it. Hang on a second.
The faces, it all...
Oh, it burns.
Hang on.
Hang
I've
on.
got- See, I should point out...
Oh,
I should
let me
point
just
out...
try. Let me just try.
Oh, hang on, it's a bit dark. Hang
Hang
on,
on.
stand by.
For your,
I should point out that I'm not actually a spirits man, whereas you are.
do you want to go the other way? For the YouTubes.
The YouTubes. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, sorry, I was doing vertical video.
No one does vertical
No one
video
does
anymore.
vertical video. Stand by it.
Except that everyone on Snapchat and Instagram stories. Well, all right, so I'm going to try my moonshine.
Slancher.
Cheers.
It's good, yeah?
Oh,
Should we call it the Esther Ranson?
oh,
Does it pull the gums back over your teeth?
I'm on fire.
Yeah.
On the inside.
And
You
not
know-
in a Kings of Leon way.
You know when you're 5
It
and
was a while ago.
and you're making like hang on, sorry, it's got an after effect as well. Oh my lips. I just realised my lips are burning too.
I've not tried it yet. I've got this joy to come.
So you know when you're 5?
Are you drunk already?
No, I'm not
Of
drunk
2
already,
sips.
but it's really burning. So, you know when you're 5, helping your mum in the kitchen with like Christmas pudding, and you see the brand and you're like, oh, that looks nice and shiny and cool, and she goes, try some, and That's what that feels like.
Okay. Well, I think I need to have a go.
Let's do this. So I'm just going to point out for everybody that we released this podcast on. Oh no, we released this podcast on iTunes and on SoundCloud, but we're also going to now release it on YouTube, and so there will be bits on YouTube that you can relate to and reference, like photos, and this bit right here I'm videoing.
I just want to get on with this. Can you stop talking?
Off you go.
Oh my god.
Yes. I told you. Have you tried?
Well, it does have an after effect, doesn't it?
Have you tried touching your lip?
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
Oh. That's just gone down.
So we need to do the show with this stuff now somehow.
Well, and we've got...
Can I just ask, do we know what proof it is?
Well, I'm guessing 96%.
96%. So that's 190.
It's basically
2 in American. 192 proof.
No, because it's percent, not centigrade or Fahrenheit.
For proof, you double it. Anyway, so let's switch the video off and get back to the podcast.
I might just need to lie down for a couple of minutes. So we should say we were sent this very kindly by someone who shall not be named. I don't think we can even mention their sex.
It's definitely not an amazing.
No, just no.
Why?
No, because I think just leave it as they know who they are.
We were given this as a very generous gift.
It was very generous, and they will know who they
now
are.
Have
and they listen to the podcast.
We have approximately 45 minutes to. I must have done like 15-20 mil tops to get through 400 mil.
Well, they were saying that if it's a bit too strong, you can cut it with some apple.
Have you got some apple?
And I don't know whether it was apple and cinnamon, or you cut it separately with apple or cut it with cinnamon.
Do you have either of these things?
I don't have cinnamon. I've got apple.
Now what?
And then it's called apple pie.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
what's that thing you always say at the beginning?
I've already done it.
But what is it?
And we're live.
And then you say...
Hello.
And then you say...
What's coming up on the show?
Let's get on with the show.
Oh, let's get on with the show.
I decided that we're going to talk a little bit about social media.
Mm-hmm. It's a big thing.
Off you go. So, social media stalking. It's
okay.
It can be slightly criminal. However,
it depends on what you're doing.
In our industry,
I'm going to go for another slug.
Oh God, are you sure? Oh,
that was a big one.
That was a big one. Oh, this is so funny, but I'm sure it's not the best listening material.
Yeah, I mean we can't spend the next 40 minutes just coughing into the microphone and grimacing
and burning.
Oh man,
has it?
It's good.
Has it warmed you up?
It has.
Inside?
It is. Yeah, I mean it's it's winter here in the UK at the moment, but it's. Oh,
I have a question.
I'm back in Death Valley.
I have a question.
Go for it. Go on.
On the podcast about photography, creativity, and life, and obviously life involves drinking moonshine, so we're still good there.
Yeah.
Photography, creativity. Do you have notifications switched on your Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram for anybody, so that you are notified with a pop-up?
Oh, I know where you're going with this, because I thought about this earlier. No, not for any particular person.
I do.
Who? Me.
You. Scott Kelby,
mm-hmm.
Glyn Dewis on Instagram, and that's it. None on Twitter and none on Facebook. I think
the reason I haven't is purely because I just haven't bothered to set it up. It's not because I don't particularly want to know when someone posts. It's just that I haven't set it up.
Let me tell you the reason I'm asking. Curated feeds.
Right.
I don't like them.
Well, no. Nobody does.
And having a notification allows me to see their pictures as soon as possible. because I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a curated feed, then I may refresh the feed and still not see a picture that was only put up 2 minutes ago.
That's true.
So I'm all for notifications, but on accounts that aren't going to be spamming me, constantly notifying me with pop-ups on my phone, and have good content. How do you feel about this?
Well, I think it's become, on Instagram especially, it's become necessary with their curated feeds recently having been initiated, which is quite annoying. But it was always going to happen because since the day it was bought out by Facebook, that was going to happen. But yeah, again, I've got nothing against it. But I haven't got around to doing it. And probably after this podcast, I will go away and pick the photographers who I want to see more of. You're contemplating having another slug, aren't you?
Eyeing it up. I mean, 96, you say?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing.
I taste about 96.
I mean, I could be wrong. The person who sent it to us might listen to this podcast and just be shaking their head. I nearly said their sex then. Shaking their head in shame.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want a straw?
That's not going to help. That will just burn more. All the way down. It burns all the way down anyway. It doesn't matter, to be honest. Screw it.
He's gone for it again. It's the cold lips that really get me.
I think I'm.
It's got a short-term memory on it, hasn't it? That you take it and you think, actually, it wasn't that bad. 5 minutes later,
and then you're off.
Yeah.
I think I keep it in my mouth too long. I need to just swallow.
Story of your life. Let's not go there.
And I need to try and avoid any lip contact.
So do you have...
So I had a beard yesterday, and
you
today...
did. You've lost it.
I don't.
And you've also lost about 2 stone in weight.
I
don't know whether that's...
I've lost quite a bit of weight.
I don't know whether those two things are correlated. I don't know whether when you just shave your beard off...
I've been healthifying myself up.
You've been what, sorry?
Healthifying myself up. I had a Malteser addiction.
But they're the lighter way to enjoy chocolate.
Apparently.
But not when you have 15 packets of fun-sized Maltesers.
Not the case at all. So, yeah, and I've just been making an effort to lose some weight. But the face situation, which burns quite a lot on the pores because of the moonshine, that's because of my other...
Oh, your RAF?
Yeah.
What?
So I have.
You should grow you need a handlebar moustache with those little twiddly bits.
No, you're right.
That's what RAF pilots do.
No, you're right. So, on Sunday I have a photo shoot where I need to be in RAF uniform. It's at St Clement Danes. Hang on a minute. Today, the day the podcast comes out.
So you're doing this and rushing straight off to
we're still not figuring this out, are we? I have a photo shoot at St Clement Danes, which is the central church of the Royal Air Force.
What's happening there?
A banner is being blessed.
I shot a wedding there.
Did you?
I did.
Huh.
For a chap who was, funnily enough, in the RAF.
That's interesting. What was it like?
It was very nice. And then the venue for the reception was the Thames Rowing Club in Richmond. It might have been the Richmond Rowing Club, actually.
That's nice.
But that was very nice.
We just shot a wedding.
We did.
And that was one of the things I thought maybe we could talk about today.
Because that was at a rowing club. I see where your mind's going with this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely what I was thinking.
The problem was, you think, oh, rowing club, that's great. You know, use of the water, you can go out on the jetty, you get some awesome photos. But when we asked the manager, he said the couple hadn't asked for it.
Yeah.
There was a cost implication.
Yeah.
But not only that,
need life jackets.
Well, either you need a lifeguard, or everyone needs to wear life jackets. And I'm fairly certain.
I don't think those life jackets.
That a full length white wedding dress doesn't look great with a mucky old.
Maybe on a trash the dress.
Could have done that, yeah.
But
we got some good shots nonetheless.
So, here's the biggest thing for me about weddings. My feet hurt. My feet, my legs. It's hard. It pulls the weight of the cameras across my shoulders. It's hard work shooting a wedding all day.
For me, it's more the mental side of things than the don't get me wrong. I
planning the next shot, or
but the day after, just feeling like completely mentally drained.
Right.
But again, don't get me wrong, the physical side of things definitely affects me. But I wake up the next morning, and I sometimes, it depends on how busy the wedding was, but I sometimes feel like I've got a hangover. Like I had a heavy session the night before, like I'd had a whole jar of moonshine.
What is this? Has this got a brand name or anything?
No, it's moonshine. So
moonshine.
have you not?
I know what moonshine is. Yeah. So it's
called
during
moonshine.
the Prohibition eras of the 1920s and perhaps the decade before. Correct me if I'm
or
wrong.
after.
And perhaps the decade after. But it was mainly the 20s, Prohibition. And people made illegal alcohol, spirits, and moved it around the South.
Well, this
in
particular
extremely
stuff.
fast cars, which became NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
They had to make fast in order to outrun the police.
The police.
The Razors.
No, they don't call them Razors in the States.
I'm calling them Razors because we're not in the States.
But it doesn't work with an American accent.
Razors.
Razors.
It does. That totally works.
I prefer the police.
Police. 5-0. Do you think they were? No, they can't be. So yeah, but so this is still an illegal moonshine, is it?
Mm. But I've actually been Googling this because I don't know whether this is illegal for us to possess.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Because we don't have on it the volume.
Well, it's not. Yeah, the ABV.
The ABV.
I don't know. It's illegal. It's certainly illegal
How
to
naughty
distill
do
it.
you feel right
very.
now? Oh my goodness.
I might have to go and turn myself in.
Right. Ready for another one, and then we'll talk more. Come on, same time.
Are we doing this together? Because this could make for a very boring 30 seconds or so. All right, let's do this.
I've got an idea.
Are you going to video both of us?
Yeah. So, my mic's down for this one.
Because you can't hold the jar, hold your phone, and hold the mic.
Well, I don't want to drop the mic. Oh, oh.
No, you've turned your mic off, is what you did there, so you didn't actually hear anything that you said after that. Right, here we go. Chin chin. Oh, here we go. Oh, I swallowed it too fast. I've got a feeling.
How are you feeling?
Oh, man. I've got a feeling the only person that's going to be laughing along to this is the person that sent us this. And everyone else is going to be like,
what are you doing?
Yeah. But they're going to be sat there.
What are we doing?
Laughing their little socks off. We are going to have to call it the Esperanza because it does pull the gums back
it
over your
hurts
teeth.
here. And it hurts here. And it hurts here. Oh, and it hurts in your stomach as well. It burns a bit. Right, so let's talk about weddings. Were we talking about weddings?
Oh.
Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, we were.
Lost now. Lifeguards. We were talking about lifeguards.
Yeah. So no, I feel the mental side of things more than the physical side the next day. And it is because it's constantly throughout the day you're trying to, you're not even trying to second guess, you're trying to third and fourth guess.
Still hurts.
What's going to happen next? It's like you're like.
Is this what it feels like when you die?
Well, I'll let you know in a couple of hours. It's almost like, and I don't think I'm overstating it here. It's almost like you're a chess
If I leave the top
grand
off,
champion. Is it going to evaporate?
Is it gonna evaporate? Oh.
I think
Sorry,
being a
I'm
wedding
totally ruining the thing about photography.
being a wedding photographer is like being a chess grand champion, grandmaster,
Okay, how so?
because you're constantly having to think like 3, 4, 5 moves ahead.
Yeah.
Because
On behalf of everybody.
right now, the couple are having their group shots.
Mm-hmm.
But when they finish their group shots, what are they doing? Where are they going? Are they going to head back into the reception, or are they doing the cake cutting? So which case am I going to need to go and figure out where the best place to stand for
I don't
that
think
is?
we've been to
Is
a
it the
single
first
wedding
dance? Is it?
where we haven't moved the cake as well.
Yeah, we did move it once and knock the head off the groom's figurine.
When you say we knocked the head off,
Well, we both had our hands on the table at the time. So,
anyway,
so it wasn't me.
so the other thing you
But I
need
don't
to
think they're
of
going
is
to be listening to this podcast. So
you're going to have a wedding with anything from 10 to 500 people at it.
How many did we have at that wedding at the Wandsworth Civic Suite?
Was
it Wandsworth?
Yeah. No,
that was
I don't know.
600.
It was about 600. Yeah, it was 2 massive halls,
Completely
and
filled.
they were full. It was a good wedding,
And there was lots of dancing.
but here's the thing: so when you're at a wedding, you've got all these people, and you're getting paid to take pictures of them, and you are there because you've been picked out of a whole bunch of photographers, no doubt, because of your abilities to make people look good. So here's the thing: how do photographers make people look good? Picking on their aesthetics and finding their best side. Is it learned, or is it something that you just have or you don't have? Is it something?
Oh no,
you
I think it's
learn?
definitely something you can learn.
How so?
Well, because when we first started out as photographers, we knew nothing basically.
Basically,
we knew how to use a camera, and we knew how all the settings worked,
but
and we
didn't know how to
didn't know how to pose.
work a model.
Exactly, we didn't know how to pose. We didn't know how to. We didn't know where to stand to get the. We didn't know how to use available light properly.
Yeah.
We had no.
We didn't know how to.
We used to shoot buildings.
Yeah.
And we used to shoot
Each
abstract stuff, but we had no real experience of shooting.
Yeah, it was just shooting each other.
Yeah, but where we could
trying to replicate the man from CNA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which didn't go well.
No. Hang on. What? Speak for yourself. I nailed that look.
But now,
as the model,
you nailed the model. But now, now we know how to pose people. Now we know how to speak to people because when you've got a professional model, you can just say pull a pose and they'll pull a pose. But whereas you've got
someone who's never been directed before,
and never been in front of a camera before, and probably is quite nervous about being in front of a camera.
Absolutely,
it's not just about saying right, strike a pose. It's about speaking to them in the right manner, calming them, keeping them calm, keeping them
reassuring
on side.
them.
Exactly.
Looking at
making them feel relaxed.
When you look at the back of your screen in between shots, even that is important. How you do that is important.
Because if you
look at the back of the screen,
screw your face
up, make a funny noise, or take a few seconds of silence, they're all bad things. You need to just look at it quick.
You need to keep.
You look brilliant.
Keep the positivity.
Do it again. Vogue for me. That's what I'm doing.
Keep the positivity up.
Exactly. So do you think girls are better at it? Because girls potentially, naturally, have the ability to find the best in things with each other. And here's an analogy.
Can I answer that question?
I travel all the time.
Before you go on to that analogy.
I've got an analogy. It's a good one, I think. Travel all the time, and you go through the airport all the time, and you see like stag parties and hen parties. You see a stag party, and the guys don't care. They've all got this T-shirt, and they pull the T-shirt out of the bag and throw it at each other. And on the back of the T-shirt is emblazoned this massive nickname, like
fingers.
Funny you should pick that one. Sweaty something. I'm trying to think of something that I'm not going to get this taken off air with. Something that's not rude.
Because Tim Cook's going to be listening again.
Tim Cook listens to every single one of these and reviews it for swearing, and we can't swear.
This is true.
So anyway, screw it. And
Betty
Swallocks. And, various other demeaning names that are hilarious for guys. Whereas if you go to the girls, all the girls will have like Princess and
Twinkle
or whatever,
Sparkle.
But then there'll be the fat girl. There's always the fat girl. There is. There's always the fat girl. She's ugly. She's fat. But she's there. And she needs a T-shirt, right?
Okay, where are you going with this?
The girls will find this fat ugly girl's best feature and stick it on the T-shirt.
Oh, I see.
Right. And so this big fat girl will undoubtedly have something like sparkly eyes. Yeah? Because girls can do that. So as guy wedding photographers, have we taught ourselves to find people's best features? Have we learned it? Or is it something that...
Learned or learnt?
Learned.
Or learnt?
Learned.
Is it ED or T?
Learned. Answer the damn question. Stop thinking about moonshine. Or is it something that we can teach? Or have been taught?
Well, we have.
Because
learnt.
We do that. We do find people's best features, and we know how to
It's about
bring out their best
manipulating.
features,
It's
yeah.
about manipulating people's bodies to get the best angle.
Yeah.
And yes, finding what is the most aesthetically pleasing part of them, be it their
Like-
eyes, be it their smile.
Like really far away. I'm counting on the fact that photographers are listening and not clients.
Yeah, I'd
But-
figured that.
But you see what I mean? I mean, our job as a wedding photographer is to bring out the best and to find the best angle, the best pose, and to concentrate on the person's best features,
Mm-hmm.
to remove some of the things that perhaps they don't like. Which also means, are we able to identify what we think, and are we right in thinking what we've guessed is their worst feature or their least liked feature about themselves?
Well, that generally comes because as soon as you get someone in front of a camera, if there is something about themselves they don't like, they will tell you.
Yeah, okay. Girls especially.
Yeah,
Oh, don't get my bingo wings.
yeah. Or
My nose.
yeah,
Noses
noses
big
are
one.
a big thing. Yeah, which
That
is
was
why
clever. A big nose.
I knows what you mean.
Oh, jeez.
But
So-
yeah, so like
so
if,
what are
with
we,
noses,
what are we
with
doing?
noses,
Are we?
when you're doing profiles,
Yeah.
if someone's got an anxiety about their nose, you never do a full on. I mean, you should never do a full on side profile anyway. Really,
I'm getting some
unless
jerky.
you're doing. unless-
No, we're being American today, so I'm getting some jerky to go in my moonshine.
So I feel like we should be like have a couple of banjos and. I heard that.
What, in the microphone?
Yeah,
Damn it.
I think was that a throat burp.
Because I had jerky in my face.
I completely lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Side profile, big nose.
So profile, yeah. So unless you're doing like a silhouette shot or something, you should never really do a side profile. You should always make sure that the nose,
Doesn't break the cheek, right?
the cheek,
Yeah.
exactly. So you turn the face at such an angle, so you still get the side profile, but the
Mm.
nose doesn't break the line of the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you've got a very tall bride, you make sure to shoot them from above. If you've got a
Right.
very short bride, you shoot them from below eye level.
Mm-hmm. Although,
And it's all things like
I
that.
try to avoid any below eye level shots, if at all possible, on account of chin factor.
Yeah,
Because that's another thing.
yeah.
Everyone's got.
And then if you've got a particularly short bride with a tall groom or vice versa, then you get them slightly staggered and one of them
Mhm.
kind of lean forward into the shot. So
Or take advantage of it by putting him behind her, leaning over
Exactly.
his shoulders.
the most difficult thing to pose is when you've got a tall bride and a short groom. And that is when you have to stand her back like half a step or even a full step, and she kind of leans into the picture.
So they're kissing the air in between each other rather
Yeah.
than kissing. It's
Yeah.
bad. So
But
That
it's all
doesn't
it's
answer-
techniques. No, but it does, because it's techniques like that we had no idea about when we first started out 6-7 years ago. But yet now we know.
now they just flow.
Exactly. And now we don't even think
now
about
we're
it.
right in the rule book.
Exactly. But now we don't even think about it. It's one of those things that you see that situation and naturally you just go into, right, okay, you take a step back, just lean forwards like this for me, faces together, blah, and it becomes part of the patter. So yeah, absolutely, I think you can learn it. Don't get me wrong, some people have it from the very beginning. Some people have. I think the thing that you can learn, or the thing that can't be learned, is the ability to speak to people.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean,
I think you either have it or you don't.
I can speak to people, but I was incredibly nervous about it. I was lacking in self-confidence. And so I forced myself. You know about my project, The Cast of London, which is nothing like Humans of New York. And was
No,
in
absolutely
fact, and was
nothing.
in fact before it. But anyway, I went out and forced myself to speak to people. I went and asked them a series of questions. I went and chatted to them, to random strangers on the street of London. Sometimes busy places, sometimes not so busy places, a variety. And asked them, can I take your picture, please? Can I talk to you for a minute? I need to find out about you. And I asked them some pretty intimate questions, but acting confidently about it, got the answers out of them, of pretty intimate details. And if you act confident, you will be confident. Because if you act confident, people see confidence in you, which in turn reciprocates as them giving you the feedback that you are confident, and that makes you be confident. All according to Batari's box. My behaviour, my actions affects your behaviour, your actions affects my behaviour, etc., etc.
Ad infinitum.
Ad infinitum, indeed. So, you can teach yourself confidence, you can develop confidence, and if you have the confidence to talk to people, and direct people and tell them what to do, which is another thing, telling people what to do. Some people don't like that.
No.
I'm fine with it. Do what I say, not what I do. Anyway, that's a thing that contributes heavily to posing a model, working with a model, and working with people, because you need them to have the confidence that you know what you're doing when you're shooting them. You're a complete stranger to the mother of the bride,
and that comes back
she
to what
has
you were
to put
saying
all her
earlier.
trust in you. Undoubtedly, she's going to be paying you as well. That quite often is the case.
That comes back to what you were saying earlier about not the way you are when you're looking at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a shot, and they may look awful.
Yeah, but you've
got the even they look great, but you've got the settings wrong.
Yeah.
And so inside you're thinking, idiot. But if you let your face show that, they don't know what you're looking at, and they just think, oh, I must look awful in that picture.
Yeah.
So you say, you take the shot, click, right, have a look at it. Oh man, you look amazing, but just give me a couple of secs. I've got the settings. You're just going to change the settings around a bit here. Right, great. It's going to be the greatest.
Try something else.
It's going to be the greatest portrait ever. Oh, really? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's all about, again, keeping the positivity up.
Speaking of best portrait ever, you have nailed your Bitmoji.
What, since I gave him a bald head?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny, so have I. All right, so if you haven't already, people, get a Bitmoji. There's a little app for it, and you can make a little person that looks exactly like you.
And don't get the Bitstrip one, get the
Bitmoji
one.
And you can copy it in messages. And so Pete and I are now texting each other just pictures of our Bitmojis having a conversation. But it looks just like me and him, and I'm cool with that.
I mean, I
we'll show people
on the YouTube
and on the Facebook. Hybrid
when I first made it, I thought I'd made it with little enough hair. Because I imagine that people listening to this are probably people that know me anyway. But I am lacking in the
follicle department.
I'm follicularly challenged.
Okay.
And so when I chose a hairstyle that I thought matched that, but I was told by you, my wife, and Scott Kelby that I need to keep searching for hair.
But you have to start from scratch every time.
Yeah. So now I Homer Simpson. He's just got those 3 strands of hair.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what my Bitmoji has.
I think
I'd like to think I've got a bit more hair there. And I actually I sent it to my friend Jess in Australia.
Yeah.
And she said it makes me look about 20 years older. But it does look like me.
But it does, yeah.
Which is
disappointing.
the
one you've got, the new updated one is spot on.
So yeah, we'll put that on the YouTubes, and you can have a look, and maybe we'll put a picture up of ourselves next to the Bitmoji. And
people talk about
judge.
photography as well, though.
That's probably best.
So, interaction. So composition is something that's heavily concentrated on by most photographers, whereas I like to try now to concentrate on, if I've got people in the shot, on interaction between the people, interaction between the person and the viewer, interaction with oneself in the picture, even,
or the people and their environment.
Indeed. So how do we do that though? So here's an example. We'll show this picture on the Facebook and on the YouTube. I do yoga photography very regularly. I am London's premier yoga photographer.
That's the title he's given himself.
Shameless self-promotion.
How many yoga photographers are there in London?
Oh, who cares? I'm top.
Okay.
So one of my favourite pictures of it is an interactive, a shot of interaction between the teacher and the whole class, where the whole class are down, squatting, or sort of.
Go on, what's the pose?
Legs akimbo.
What's the pose?
It's the start of a Warrior 3, but then there's a reach with one arm, which doesn't
a reach around
correlate. But anyway, it's something like that.
It's not a reach around.
And then the teacher's doing the same arm action. I am ignoring you because this is silly now. Drinking too much moonshine.
Ah, dear.
So the teacher's doing the arm position, and the whole class are doing the arm position. So there's a fantastic interaction. He's smiling, and you can see it all. Similarly, if you have interaction between the viewer and the person by having eyes gazing straight down the lens with like a nice expression. I'll find a shot to show that as well. And an interaction between perhaps two people in the picture, people talking to each other, people kissing, people holding hands. That can be just as important as decent composition. But is that...
Yeah, because it's all about the mood of the photo as well, right?
Indeed. So how do we work on that? Is that another thing where we... Is it something that's taken from our ability as humans to recognise things, or is it... Why does it work? Why does that work? Is that what it is? Is it like a recognition or a familiarisation or an empathy, or what is it? Because it's not a photographic technique. It's not a technical technique. It's not a compositional technique. It is just a human thing.
Well, I think it's primal, isn't it?
Primal.
Or primeval.
No, primal.
Primal. It's primal.
So...
But I don't think... I'm sure a scientist could probably explain it.
Probably could. Better than me.
But I just think it's... So it's like patterns in photos.
Yeah.
And repeated patterns.
Repeated patterns and a break in a repeated pattern.
And interrupted patterns as well. Like, why is that...
So you have like... 10
so I was reading this thing, going off the subject slightly.
Yeah.
There was something I saw on Facebook a little while ago, and it was one of these clickbait adverts as I was scrolling down my feed, and it was like a circular. And it was on someone's shoulder, and it was obviously I later found out faked, but it freaked me out still. It was like this huge circular like
pussy thing,
boil.
Yeah.
But it had like loads of little circles in it, and then like maggots.
Yeah.
Like that maggot's head just poking out, and it really freaked me out. And so I couldn't look at it, and for ages it just kept coming up, and I had to keep scrolling by it, and it made me almost feel physically sick. And
That's
then
weak, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. But there's a scientific reason for it. About 2 months after that, there was a story. I think it was on IFL Science, and I'm not going to give the full website address for that. Do you know IFL Science?
Yeah, no.
ifnlovescience.com.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an article on there about why images like that, and there was another image where someone had circular spots all over their hands, and it's a primal thing, and it showed various pictures of insects and animals that had these patterns on their bodies, and it is to ward off potential predators,
right?
And so it's obviously like a prehistoric.
You were warded off, were you?
Yeah, and it's a prehistoric, and it's like, and we're going really off topic here, but it's like when guys and girls go to a party. The guy will immediately go straight for the kitchen, and it will generally be to grab a beer, or whereas the women will go in and, generally speaking, will look around the room, look up and down other women, see what they look like, assessing them, and it's a prehistoric thing that the man, being the hunter-gatherer, will go straight to the kitchen for food and drink, and the woman will be the one who looks after the family.
Assessing the competition.
Exactly, looks after the family, so they're assessing what everyone looks like and their potential weaknesses and strengths. Okay. And
this is interesting.
And it's a prehistoric. So the whole thing with this thing freaking me out is it's a primal thing that. So it's to ward off predators.
So we relate to interaction between people in photos and between people in the photo and the viewer.
I think it's just an innate inbuilt,
because we're taught. Or no,
it's not even taught. I think
we grow up learning to recognise expression.
Well, I don't even think you
deal
grow
with
up
expression,
learning.
React to expression.
Expression, absolutely. Dealing and reacting with it. But these other little things, I think it's just somehow it's we only use 10% of our brains. So apparently, deep. We've only scratched the surface of what our brains can do. So who knows what else? Who knows what else is in there?
So it's okay. So summarising then. It's just a cool thing to consider as a photographer is interaction. When you're framing up, think about what the person in the picture could be doing to the viewer.
And how it feels for you looking at that scene as well. Because generally speaking, if you have a certain feeling about that scene, then not everyone will, but the likelihood is that a number of the people that are viewing that picture afterwards will have that same feeling or emotion. Yeah.
And it's like it's whatever the feeling was that was sitting there in front of you when you take the picture is being emulated in the picture
because you're the one taking it
and translated back to the viewer.
This is deep.
This is deep, isn't it?
It's good though. I like it.
I'm going to be flashing up loads of pictures, and we're going to put the load on Facebook to show what we mean. Examples of pictures where there is interaction in the picture between the person in the picture and the viewer, and between other people in the picture. Wow. So that is a skill that you need to nail for your art as a photographer. Because that...
But again, some people just have it.
Some people do just have it.
And not... I really...
Like, let's look at, like, Instagram, and you've got someone walking down the street in a rainy... where you've got the crushed blacks, where it's raining, and they're in the city, and there's an umbrella, and there are loads of people, and you've got the one person isolated, like on the phone, under an umbrella, and there's like an interaction, and it's an interaction between the person and the phone, but it's an interaction, and it's something we can relate to, and jinx, and
that's no good for a podcast, because that means I can't
to
speak.
Sell the picture, no matter where they are in the picture, it helps sell the picture. Wow. People, you need to be working on interaction within your pictures.
Because that's what people buy into.
They do. People love that. Should we change the subject?
Let's.
Because speaking of interaction, I spoke about isolating the person. So, as I quite often say, lend me your eyes and I'll show you what I see. So I stuck something up on Facebook the other day about Photoshop and how Photoshop is not a verb. It's not a doing word. You're retouching a picture using Photoshop. But Photoshop has got certain negative connotations based on the glamour industry and the fashion industry. And
I was wondering about that, why Lightroom has never been... Why people never say, that's been Lightroomed.
It's been Lightroomed, exactly. It's been coral painted.
Because I think it's unfortunate that the phrase "shopped" has negative connotations anyway.
Because
when you've shopped someone.
When I hate to say it, when I've shopped someone, I'm not squishing their arms, lengthening them out, and all that sort of stuff. In fact, let's take it away from being a person. So the picture I put up the other day is of a reindeer in Svalbard on the edge of a mountain. Behind him is a delta of a river which is formed from the melting glacier up the hill and further up the valley, going out into the sea with a series of mountains way off in the distance with the sun setting behind. And I, air quote, shopped this picture to enhance the sunset and to isolate the reindeer. There were like 9 reindeer in the picture. There's now 1. And it was for nothing other than composition and an effect to show you what I was seeing at the time. What I was seeing at the time is this reindeer looking back at me, tiny little cute thing with a pug nose, sitting on top of a mountain in the cold with a nice Arctic sunset going on behind him. And so I've made everything stand out that I want to stand out. I've got rid of all the distractions that I didn't want.
But again, there's nothing wrong with that, because you're not a photojournalist.
Exactly.
You're not saying, look, here's the plight of the Arctic reindeer that are dying out, and there's only 1 left, and you've shopped 9 of them out. It's not it's art. You're showing art. You're creating a piece of art, and so it's about your vision. But I don't think that's the problem with Photoshop.
But what I was trying to get at is that's what I do with Photoshop, and I'm quite often asked when people see my pictures, firstly, is that your picture? Please stop asking me that. Every single picture I put up is my picture. Yes, that's my picture.
You must have a really good camera.
I must have a really good camera. And have you photoshopped that? Yes, I have photoshopped that. But I haven't done it in the way you think I've done it, you idiot. That was Kathy Bateson. I've enhanced the picture. I've shown you what I want you to see in the picture. I've shown you what I was looking at the time. And I'm not, slimming the deer. I'm not taking his spots
although they
away.
may well have wanted you to.
I haven't smoothed his skin out.
Bit frequency separation?
I haven't enhanced his... No frequency separation. All the frequencies are there. I haven't...
Altogether,
right there in one picture. I've tweaked it to what I was seeing when I took it. and what I want to represent of the place and time.
Okay, all right.
was in
So
front of me.
playing devil's advocate then, because I think the point you're getting at here is that in the fashion industry,
The-
you can take a girl that might be kind of have a few lumps or bumps or spots or something where she shouldn't, and then she gets made into a size 6 supermodel.
That's
but-
exactly what I'm saying.
But
And she's not the person
what
that you
if-
took the picture of.
what? But if you saying that's what I saw at the time,
Yeah.
if as the photographer, and I understand as the photographer is a very small part in the fashion industry. They're not they're not the
They don't
not the
even
client. They're not
generally
the
do
art
retouching.
director. They're not. But the point I'm making is what if that's what they saw at the time?
Ooh.
Eh?
Put that right in my face, didn't you?
Mm.
Well.
I know what you're getting at, but I'm just
what
playing
I'm-
devil's advocate.
What I'm explaining with how I use Photoshop is that I'm not causing a lie per se.
You're just
I'm
getting
changing.
rid of 9
I'm
reindeer.
changing. Yeah, just getting rid of 9 reindeer. I'm changing reality, but I'm showing a nice thing. Now I understand that perhaps a fashion photographer or a fashion photographer's retoucher is changing reality to show a nice thing, but it's perhaps an unachievable nice thing. It's not something that was there in the first place. The model probably doesn't even look like the person in the picture. And it's
Wasn't there that
causing-
video a little while ago where someone took a slice of pepperoni pizza and turned it into photoshopped it into a model?
Wow.
Then that might have been a
So
hoax, but
you
never know.
It's negative. Like
But some people might say, I love reindeer. So
I
you taking
wanted
out
to
9
see
of
all
them.
9.
Exactly.
Well, no. See, I feel like now you're just throwing things in my face, but
No, I get it. Because
No,
the whole point of the fashion industry using Photoshop is
that's where the term photoshopping has come from, and it's why it's got negative connotations.
if they made a girl that's size
I
12...
can still taste moonshine in my throat.
It's not moonshine. If they made a girl that's size 12 look size 10...
It's not moonshine, sunshine.
I don't really have a problem with that. I think the issue is, as a father of a young girl, albeit that she's 2 years old, but will one day be looking at all these fashion magazines, I'm sure. The problem I have is where they make an ordinary girl look something that no one will ever look like.
Indeed, that's it. And you can find a reindeer on his own. Yeah? You can find that.
Is that
you
the moral
can
of
find
the
that-
moral of this story?
You can
That's
find that reindeer
Some fashion
on his
models,
own.
you could never replicate naturally, but
No.
you could find one reindeer in the wild on its own.
People deserve to see this argument and how disinterested I am. You can find the reindeer on his own and take that shot, but you can't do that with the girl in the magazine in from the fashion shoot. I mean, I'm struggling to
Back your argument up.
No, I'm struggling to put it into words. I know what I'm thinking. I'm struggling to put it into words. You can find the reindeer. You can do that. You can make that scene. That scene is not unachievable. It's just that what I saw was a reindeer, but behind him there were 9 other reindeer. I'm saying 9. There might be more or less, but there were other reindeer, and they weren't contributing to the scene. They weren't listening when I said smile.
I'm arguing with you on
so-
this, but when I went on safari
Yeah,
in Tanzania
yeah,
5 years ago,
yeah,
and we didn't quite see the kill,
yeah.
but I've got a photo of a pride of lions, or we saw a pride of lions eating a buffalo. I think it was a buffalo.
Yeah. No, it was a wildebeest.
It wasn't a wildebeest.
There's a wildebeest in the picture.
It was a wildebeest.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And I've got this now, I think, awesome photo
Yeah.
of a lioness,
Snarling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that picture.
and you can see the dead carcass in front of it, and it looks as if it's snarling at the
Yeah.
carcass.
Yeah.
But actually what I've done is photoshopped, there's that phrase again, photoshopped out the other lioness
Yeah.
that has just lolloped itself down and sat on this lioness's hind legs,
Right.
causing it to roar because it's annoyed.
Yeah.
I've completely
You've
photoshopped
taken that away.
that other lioness out, so it just looks like... And again, we'll put this photo up and let people see what they think.
So it's something that could absolutely have happened.
Yes.
A lioness snarling at someone else trying to get her food.
But actually, she's just snarling at someone else sitting on her legs.
Yeah. But
so I know what I know what you're coming from.
Relating it to glamour and fashion. The glamour and fashion aspect of it is that those people don't exist.
Exactly.
Apart from Rachel Kirk.
Who's Rachel Kirk?
Look up Rachel Kirk, guys, on Instagram. She's a model. She exists.
See, I'm a married man, so I've no need to look up good-looking models.
I don't know. We're quite a way in.
We are. I feel like we wasted the first 15 minutes on
talking about moonshine
and coughing.
And I mean, I can still feel it. I'll be honest. I can still feel it burning. I think you should take this for a minute so that we can finish on video. And I'm just going to remind myself of something. This tickled me. So I was looking at the Telegraph Travel, and there are 20 questions which people in the tourism industry, as a travel photographer, this interests me. 20 questions people in the tourism industry have asked their guide, or have been asked by guests and whatnot. So I'm just going to rattle off my favourites and see what you think of them. Number 1. Who feeds the Loch Ness Monster?
The warden.
Actually, there's I read something else about the Loch Ness Monster recently, that actually maybe he exists. It exists.
It's got to be a girl, isn't it? Nessie? That's a girl's name.
That's a girl's name.
Of course, that name only comes from Loch Ness, so...
Anyway, next question. Who performs at the circus at Piccadilly?
The Piccadilly Clowns. Sorry, have I got to answer all these questions?
These are... I thought they were hilarious. Why did they build so many ruined castles in England?
Broken ones.
Broken castles.
We should probably explain. Dave doesn't believe in calling castles ruins.
I couldn't think of the word.
They're broken castles.
I couldn't think of the word.
They are broken castles.
Think we were in Ireland. We were with Kathy, and we found
Dunluce.
Was it Dunluce?
Dunluce.
It wasn't Ballintoy. That was the harbour.
We
found Dunluce Castle, which is broken.
It was actually broken, but it was actually broken because it had scaffolding around it. The bizarre thing was
the term ruin, or I was tired.
It seems they were trying to rebuild a ruin.
Yeah,
I didn't quite get it.
So who builds all the broken castles?
And do they tear them down?
The people at Dunluce, apparently.
Clearly.
So what else?
Dunluce builders.
What else tickled me? Americans will enjoy this one. Who built the Grand Canyon? That's the reaction.
God.
And did he?
Mm-hmm. With a capital G.
Oh. Well, that's answered that. Which direction is north in Australia?
Down. No?
So anyway, I thought that was funny. I thought that would be funny to end on, but apparently it's not. I'm done.
So that's the end of that then.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Thank you to our very special donor.
Yes.
For sending us.
You get a picture of it in the video.
For sending us moonshine. This moonshine has burnt me. I might have to go to hospital. But thanks for sending it. It was very difficult, obviously, to do it, so we're very grateful. If any of you would like to buy us a beer, #buy us a beer, you can do so by going to paypal.me/hybrid photography and just sticking in however much a beer costs, because obviously we're doing this and we're trying to run a business and, support ourselves and live. So if you want to help, that'd be great. If you want to send us a beer,
just £3 could help feed and clothe Hybrid Dave. Because look at him. Look what he's wearing. I can't argue.
I've got a Billabong t-shirt.
I'm in a pair
good.
of lounge pants and an old t-shirt, so I can hardly argue.
So yeah, and if you want to send us actual beer or anything, looking at the moonshine now.
You're gonna have another.
If you want to
slug,
send
aren't
us anything, just send us a message. We'll give you the address.
you? The more illegal, the better. Hang on.
No,
I'm
that's
going
right.
to go with that. Yeah.
The less legal, the better.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on us. I'm Hybrid Dave.
I'm Hybrid Peter.
You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please go follow us on all of them. Turn on the notifications, and if we put anything up and you'd like to share it, please share it, because sharing is caring and it helps us grow. Any questions you've got you'd like us to answer, or anything you'd like us to talk about on the Bias Beer podcast,
Drop us a line.
drop us a line. And that's
I think that's
pretty
it.
much it.
For this week.
Next
This fortnight.
Next time on the
Next
Bias
time.
Beer podcast, I will have been to Iceland. I will have a lot to talk about in Iceland, and I will hopefully be coming back with some interviews. So, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Bye. Bye.